All right, everybody, what's going on? I am here with my boys Keith from Gorephobe and Sean
Oh,
from Sean Blue Digital. What's up, guys?
How's it going,
no,
everyone?
Welcome to the second episode of Trace Canali Rimbalzo, three-channel bounce, where we every week will take turns bouncing from one of our channels to the other, talking Italian horror. And you guys are going to take the journey with us because as much as we are Italian horror geeks, there is so much out there to still be discovered. Let's see who's in chat here. John. Hey, John, what's going on, man? We conflicting opinions. It's going to be an interesting one. Zodiac, what's up, buddy? Joseph, what's up, man? Who else is in chat? Gorephobe, you're here.
I am here to this.
Indeed. Lady J, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on, Jake? What's going on, Carrie? Zodiac,
Russell, how you doing,
Russell,
Russ? Who else? Russell's birthday is in 2 days on the 5th. So I'm going to do a
Living lights
video of
already.
a movie that he chose for his birthday.
Got 11 likes already, man.
Oh,
Hell,
good.
there
Yeah,
was
don't
8
forget
before
hit
we even
that like
started.
button. No, yeah,
I love to
no,
see
it's
likes like
good.
that before you even start. That's a cool fucking thing, man.
Oh, for sure. And Kara, hey, Kara. I don't know what that was. Yes, please, if you haven't, subscribe to both Sean and Gorephobe. Absolutely awesome people with great, great, great content. And I think I'm caught up with the chat here. Okay, so now since this is a very, I feel, underrated Fulci film. Like, what
Oh,
you don't hear. This was a basically like I feel a transition film for Fulci from his giallos of the early
right.
'70s, mid '70s into his gothic era, with Zombie being the film after this.
Right.
And
This is the
yeah,
bridge film, man. Because
yeah,
you had
exactly.
Lizard and Woman Skin, you had Don't Torture a Duckling in the early 70s, and a couple others. And then at 77, you got this one, and this one bridged him into Zombie, also have
Yeah,
Cemetery, Beyond, See the Living Dead, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a bridge film.
yeah, and you could see like the gap getting closer between both styles because you could still see the style of his earlier giallos, like with Lizard and Woman Skin and Don't Torture Duckling. But then you could see a lot more of his trademark stuff from a little later, from Zombie going forward, like especially with a lot of the camera work, especially the zoom in on the eye shots. And I
Yeah.
think this film, I think some of the best camera work in a Fulci film. I think it's very, very stylish, this movie, in a way that Don't Torture a
Yeah.
Duckling, we've talked about. Is that I still need that film to click for me. It just hasn't clicked for me yet. This after two watches or so. So that's one that we should do sometime because that I need to make a final decision on Don't Torture a Duckling.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Well, I
still
mean,
haven't seen Duckling yet, so
um,
Okay.
but
yes,
Yeah.
cinematographer is Sergio Salvati, and if you know anything about him, you know he worked for Bava. He worked for Bava. I do
Mm,
believe he worked for Argento, and he worked for Fulci. He was like one of the best Italian
yeah.
horror cinematographers there was. So that's why you get those shots, man.
Oh, the cinematography is fantastic in this movie, and I would definitely. I don't like the term slow burn horror, but
Right.
like nowadays, this would totally be considered a real slow burn horror film. And it's, I mean, there's some gore in it, but it's not really even a gory movie. It's like more of just a mystery, like a with like a supernatural kind of twist to it.
Yeah. You
yeah,
got
that's like
original
the
story
vibe
with
I
seven
get
minutes
with it.
in boy.
Yeah, and it was. I think it's
It's about
interesting
that
how
film.
I think it's interesting how when they make you think for the whole movie that this woman Virginia is seeing visions of the crime from the past,
Right.
and then they trick you in the end, and it turns out being something completely different. We'll get to that. but I think that's a great twist, and you
That
don't see that too often.
yeah, that song, that there's actually a song in here that it plays it 4 major times, and that's the 7 notes in black. That's what the song is, and that's 4 different times. They just play perfect. It
These seven
signifies
notes here.
danger, signifies danger, and it signifies hope. I have the 4 instances written down right here, as a matter of fact. And her watch also plays that song.
It's so good, the music.
Like, see how freaked out she got when she seen that the watch played that fucking song? Because she heard that song at the beginning. She heard it when she got the watch, of course. She heard it when she was hiding on the upper deck from the dude. The dude fell through the floor. And
Uh,
and then she hears it at the end. Well, no, they hear it at the end when her husband stuck her in the wall. The watch
there.
goes off and lets the doctor and the cop know that she's in there. So that
Yeah.
it signifies hope and danger. I think it's really cool. That song is
It,
what it's about.
it's such a great, and just the title, like
Yes.
even though it was released in the U.S. as The Psychic initially, then it had several other titles, but my favorite one for it is "Murder to the Tune of the Seven Black Notes." Like that's just such a brilliant title. There's
Yes.
7 black notes on a
Black.
piano, and the sharps and flats, and that's exactly how the tune is played, and it's so clever.
Yeah.
Like it,
Sette note in Nero.
yeah. This movie actually reminds me a little bit of Argento's Cat of Nine Tails.
What is that fucking tune? That ding, 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 ding. It is played in other movies. What other fucking movie was that in, man?
Oh, Kill Bill.
Yes.
Tarantino's a very big fan of The Psychic,
Yes.
and Jennifer O'Neill, who is
When
so fantastic in this movie.
when she's getting ready to fight Daryl Hannah and they're looking at each other, they pull their swords out. Ding,
Yep.
ding, ding. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it also played in the one of the two the Grindhouse, the other Grindhouse, the one that Rodriguez did.
Oh, Planet of Terror. Yeah,
I think
it could be. Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while.
I was just that earlier going, where the fuck? I know that song, man.
Yeah, no, Tarantino. I've seen
Great.
a few interviews with him talking about Jennifer O'Neill and how much he loves her, and how much he loves this movie, The Psychic.
He's the greatest thief on the planet because he turns it in and makes it his own. He makes it where he's not even a thief anymore, you know.
Well, I'm just catching up on chat here. Hey Jay, we got Ginger Ninja here.
He even admits he steals shit, but he does it so fucking well. You know.
Of course.
No one bitches. People are honored when Tarantino steals shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's just because you know how big of a film geek he is, and just like that they're all just him paying homages to all films that he loves and stuff. So he just has that style that you can, even though it's pretty much just every shot in this movie is an homage to some other movie. It just works because it's Tarantino.
Total nerd. And he makes art knowledge look like nothing. Tarantino makes art shit look like nothing.
Oh yeah, man. He was. I actually just saw a video recently on YouTube of him on some Jimmy Kimmel, I think, from a few years ago, and he was reading descriptions on the back of the VHS boxes.
Yes.
And Tarantino's blindfolded and he's trying to guess what movie it is. He got like the last 2 out of 4 or something like that, and they were hard ones.
They were obscure ones too, man. A couple of them.
Yeah, there's one was Rottweiler, I think, or one of that killer dog movie from like the 70s.
What the fucking block looked like.
Oh no, he worked in a video store for him. People just like knew him for like him having just this amazing knowledge of movies.
We gotta cover him one day. We gotta come out and talk about Tarantino one day. That would be a great.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. So Keith, what are your thoughts on this film, on this rewatch?
I like it, man. Sean and I were talking earlier because Sean and I watched it together on a private stream. I put them together and we come together. That's what I talked to him about earlier. You know, all the confusion happened. I said, dude, why don't we just hook up on a private stream and watch it together? That way we'll get it done. We can talk about it. We can bullshit. We can, and we were talking about the haunting fucking music, not just the 7 notes music, but just
Yeah.
the ghostly, fucking weird music, like when she finds that the wall that's got the hole in it, you know, she can see it because she's psychic, right?
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
talking about that weird ass music that was going with it. It's a eerie film, man.
I love the score in it, like, and exactly
Yes.
just like the way that, and you see this was so a lot like going forward in Fulci's career that, like just those lingering zoom in shots of the wall with the hole there, then with the music playing, and then you get a shot on Jennifer O'Neill on Virginia, then it goes back to the wall and zooms in more, back to her, and with the music and the
Somebody's
score
good.
going, it builds the tension really, really well.
Somebody knows how to do that, man. Every Italian director wanted him through that horror era. They wanted him, and you know, he was in demand. You know, it's like a dude. I can't work all three at once, or all four or whoever would be going at the time.
Yeah,
But
no,
he ended
exactly.
up working for all of them.
Carrie, yeah, thanks. Yeah, Joe, we're not watching it. We're just talking about the movie. And
Yeah.
so I'm gonna catch up on chat quick here. Todd, what's going on, Todd? Nice to see you.
Yeah, I remember a couple of weeks ago when we did Torso.
Phil.
Man was like, did you guys start the movie yet? It's like, no, man,
Yeah,
we're not doing a watch. We're not doing a watch. This is the one show that I do in the week, and it's not any kind of a watch.
Right.
This is
What's
just
going
a
on,
discussion.
Phil? And that's everybody, right? I think so. Yes. All right. Cool. So, has anybody in chat seen this movie? Is a
They
good
had
question.
to have seen. Oh shit! I bet Russell had. If Austin was here, Austin definitely would have seen.
Because, like I said, I think this is a very underrated Fulci film. Now, Sean, this was your first time seeing it. Now, what were your thoughts on it?
I mean, like the first time I ever tried watching it, I got through like the first 20 minutes. It was late at night and I just wasn't feeling it and I shut it off.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I really watched it. But at the same time, me and Keith were kind of just talking the whole time. And
Yeah.
it's got a pretty good opening to it. But in all honesty, very dull film.
Yeah.
Really?
I can see that, though. I can see that. Absolutely.
It's like I like the murder mystery part about it. I also like the fact that the main character is a psychic.
Mm.
There's some really good elements there about it, but as a whole, very forgettable.
Like that's how I feel about Duckling. That's how I feel exactly about Torture Duckling. So that's interesting how. Well, you still haven't seen Duckling either, Sean. But Keith,
Yeah.
you love Duckling, right, Keith?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just hasn't clicked for me. It's like that's how I feel about that movie. I feel like it has some pacing issues. I feel like there's some good stuff, but it's pretty. I can't like remember it. It doesn't hit for me, and it's interesting how earlier Fulci, especially his early giallos like that, are pretty divisive. Yeah, they're pretty divisive around among fans.
Fulci was hit and miss, and then he was hit for years, and then he was hit and miss again. You know what I mean?
I really feel like at this movie, like it's not even really that it has pacing issues. It's just everything moves along so slow. If we can make the movie move along a little bit faster, and at the same time you got some goofball characters where I can't even understand dialogue really. But if it was like to move along a little bit faster, I'd be a little bit more engaged. But it's just really not for me.
I get what you're saying though, because it's a very simplistic plot. Like when you think it's not like anything like crazy going on in the story here. It's very straightforward for the most part, except for the twist near the end. So I can see that like 100% for some people. Like I just get caught up looking at. I love the cinematography and I love the look of it and stuff like that. But I've fallen asleep to this movie before. So I mean, if that says something, like I gotta be in a mood. I gotta be in a certain mood for certain directors and stuff. It's like Mario Bava. I have to be in a Bava mood. Like Argento, I'm pretty much I can throw on whenever. But even Fulci, I have to be in a mood.
Well, Argento had a streak of films like no one else ever had.
That's what I always say too, man. I mean, from Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Yeah, I think it's 10 films. From that to Trauma, it was more than that. That's like 10 or so. But the opera is like 10 movies. There's 8 movies, something like that. That beats out Carpenter for me, and pretty much everybody else that I can think of.
Fulci though to me is an anytime kind of guy. I'm big on Fulci, and to me he always has something for me that I like. You know, there's always something there. Always.
That's why, even like I said, that Duckling hasn't clicked for me. There's still stuff that I really like in that. There's just times that I've seen it. And I mean, the cliff scene, which we have a very, very similar one in the beginning of this movie. So for people,
it's just not as bad.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a little more tame, and it looks a little. The effects don't look that great, but I mean, it's Fulci, and you got to just kind of accept you're in for a ride in Fulci's universe when you watch his films. So like, and it's obviously it looks so much like a dummy. Like it's not. They didn't even try to make it not look like a dummy. Yeah, and the way that it falls down, it would never happen that way. But like he needed gore in there because it's Fulci. But it works for me, like just because it's Fulci.
Like the least gory Fulci I've ever seen.
It's up there with that. Yeah, with the least gore for sure. Because there's not really anything else besides the intro. I mean, at the end with the when she's getting killed. Now that's something at the end. Do you guys think that she was alive still, or she was dead and buried in the wall?
Well, she was hurt. I don't think she'd been there long, and her air wasn't cut off. So if
what I think,
or whatever did kill her, she probably survived.
That's what I always thought, because if they hear the sound, the 7 notes, the music playing. And then right then, and that was only a short time after he put her in there. And she was wounded, but she was still alive. So then when they came over, the cops and the guy, the friend who's into the psychic stuff, they all get there and then they hear it. So they had to have busted it down right then and there. And so I'm assuming that she survives, is what I've always taken.
That's the doctor, because he suspects the husband anyway. So he gets the cop and goes there, and they're looking around, and they're like about to leave. You know what I mean? They don't think she's there.
And then right at the right moment, the music comes on.
Motherfucker put her in a wall and put a big ass fucking ottoman and shit in the way or something. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Fucking wife, dude, and she's a fine wife,
It reminds me, like I said, of Cat of Nine Tails. I guess just because of the 7 notes and stuff, and like the clues that she sees. And in Cat of Nine Tails, it's like the same thing. You got the 9 clues, or what the tails and the 9 tails are. And stylistically, it reminds me of Cat of Nine Tails a bit too, which is a very underrated Argento film, which he stated many times is his least favorite movie. Which I don't know what he's on when he says that, because he's made much more.
I love Cat of Nine Tails, man. That's the one with Carl Malden and the little girl, right?
Yeah, with Cookie, the blind guy, and with
his fantastic. I love that relationship.
Oh yeah, Cookie is such a great character, the blind guy, and the score is amazing, and that's one of my favorite Argento scores, Ennio Morricone. Yeah,
it's just I like it, man. The characters in that are some of the best he's ever had in a Cat of Nine Tails. But just the old man and the little girl all by themselves.
I'd agree with that. They are favorite characters of mine in his filmography.
He used bigger actors.
What's that, Sean?
Ginja's got a question. He's saying, if you had a choice and could only watch one Italian filmmaker out of Fulci, Bava, Lamberto, or Argento, who would you choose?
What a dude!
God. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Dick move, man. Dick move.
All right, let's go around. Keith, we'll start with you. We'll go clockwise around. Sean next.
You had to start with me. Okay. Fulci.
Okay.
Even though Argento's films as a whole are better, Fulci is very nostalgic.
Yeah, I can.
Zombie.
I mean,
zombie. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a hard decision to make.
It sucks.
Sean, what would you pick?
I gotta go Argento because overall he is my favorite Italian filmmaker.
Yeah,
He is
I
the
mean,
best.
there's no bad answer here. I mean, and I honestly, I'd have to go with Mario Bava.
That's
And
the answer, man.
I mean,
Good
yeah,
answer.
unless Ginger, you specifically put Lamberto, so are you saying Mario or Lamberto, or just Lamberto? Because if it's just Lamberto, then Argento all day. But
I mean, I would
Mario
definitely
Bava.
take Sergio Martino over Lamberto Bava.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but, yeah, but without Bobby, you don't got any of the motherfuckers, man.
Well, that's why I would take Bava just because of I feel like he's never made a bad film ever.
Like Sabbath,
Like
Kill Baby Kill, Bay of Blood, uh,
yep.
fucking Honeymoon, fucking
Hatchet for the Honeymoon. Yep.
Did
So
Bava do
Baron Blood.
did
Planet
he
of the
do Planet
Vampires.
of the Vampires?
Yeah, Planet of the Vampires. Yep. That was a very early Bava
Shock.
film, like of his own, maybe his second, third movie, horror movie.
Shock was great too. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't
we
like
were
it.
talking about
I
that
love
on the
Shock.
first episode. That we liked that movie.
Big, big.
Shock's a good one. I love Daria Nicolodi. So just seeing
Oh
her
hell
there,
yeah.
like in Bava's last film, having Daria in there is awesome.
Hell yes. And made
Hello,
one of
lovely May.
the best anthologies.
We have May in the house
What's up, man? By the
and
time.
Gretchen. Hello, Gretchen. Nice to have you here.
Hey, my fiance. Hi, baby. How you doing? That's
Oh,
me.
nice. Hey.
That's me and her
So
sitting on the couch in the picture.
nice. So we got some good people. We got all our usual crew. May it is your birthday coming up this month. I heard, and Russell's birthday is
Yep.
in 2 days.
Yeah, Russell's in
So
2 days, and then a man's like 14th.
the 14th, I think. Yeah. So we got to definitely party hard and do something.
We're trying to build up Russell's collection. His physical media collection.
Yeah, Mayan's birthday
Get you
present came in the mail
too.
today.
No,
Can't
nice,
Can't really show it to
What
you,
was it?
so
nice.
I mean, I think she knows what it is, though.
Yeah.
What is it?
We'll figure that out later.
Yeah. Nice. So, for people who haven't seen this movie in chat, which is probably everybody who
Yes,
is,
crazy.
we have Jennifer O'Neill, who was also most popularly in Scanners, David Cronenberg's Scanners, which is another masterpiece of a movie.
What Chuck Norris is she in?
She was in a few other things, but I don't really remember.
She was in one of the Chuck Norris movies in the early 80s.
And she did another horror film before this, I'm pretty sure. That
She's
I can't think of.
Man.
Oh, I think she's great, and I in Scanners and especially in this. Like, this is what I've seen of her. This is my favorite performance by her, which I haven't seen more than a handful, three, 4 films.
I didn't realize that she's half Brazilian and half. What is she? Half Brazilian?
Whatever it is, it works.
She's Brazilian. She's half Brazilian, half American.
I wouldn't never guess that either, actually.
Very pretty.
She doesn't look. Oh yeah, very pretty. And she
gets Scanners. She gets that great streak going in Scanners. That's really good.
No, she looks good in Scanners. I mean, those are the like two biggest things that she's known for. And she's basically a clairvoyant. And her husband ends up leaving on a business trip, and she is driving home from dropping him off at the airport, and she ends up seeing a vision as she goes through a tunnel. And she starts seeing all these images in this vision of a picture on the wall, or a mirror being broken, a magazine with a girl's picture on it, and a dead woman, an older woman, and all these things. And then the last thing she hears these 7 notes. Yes. And so she starts trying to figure out, when she gets back to her husband's place, she notices that the same hole, there's a crack in the wall that she saw in her vision, is right there in the place, and she ends up opening it, and there's human remains in there, skeleton, and she tries to clear her husband's name
Right.
because they immediately accuse the husband and pretty much arrest him with no probable cause, except for just the fact that he had a relationship with the girl. Like that was the only like reason, really, right? I don't think they
She's
had
in
any
this,
other.
she's in this fucking wall. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but I think it was that he rented out the place and stuff, and then he says like, just in Italy it's different. Just because if you own the place, then like something like that is what he said. But
He's
still
even
kind
patched
of weird.
up, you know? It even been fixed and patched up and shit, you know? It's like, dude,
Yeah, I know. It's like
somebody
he didn't
had
try to
access to
hide
that
it.
place, fix that, you know?
He didn't try to hide it well. It's like you
So
can
I just looked up. I just looked up Jennifer O'Neill's filmography, and the only horror film she ever did was Scanners and The Psychic, but she was also in Poltergeist: The Legacy, the television show.
okay.
So she
I don't
only
think I
did
ever
3
saw it.
horror things that were related. Apparently, she did some spaghetti westerns and mostly thrillers. A lot of Italian stuff.
What
Yeah.
Norris movie was she in?
What movie?
What
Chuck Norris.
movie? She was in
She
a,
was in a
was in
Chuck
movie
Norris
together.
movie?
Yeah. Is either Eye for an Eye or Course of One? One of those, I think. She did one of them with him.
She was in Howard Hawks' Western Rio Lobo.
Oh, here it is. A Force of One.
I knew it was one of those. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, that's an action mixed martial arts film.
Yeah, she was in and out of different genres. I mean, she from what I've seen of her, she can goddamn act, man.
She was good. Scanners, I think, is one of her best. She's not even in it a real lot, but she's so good in it. You know what I mean? It's like Cronenberg brought really a lot of good shit out of her.
I think like one of her best scenes in Scanners is when she goes into that doctor's office.
Yes.
And then what's his name comes back out and he's like, "What happened?" And she's like crying and she's like, "The baby over there, the pregnant lady with the baby just scanned me."
Scanned you.
And it's like her whole reaction on her face is just, it's really convincing.
Oh no, she's good. That's a great scene.
He's like, she scanned you, and she's like, no, the baby, her newborn baby did. She scanned you. He's already kicked some ass.
And then out of nowhere, a bunch of tranquilizer darts come flying through the windows. It's such a weird scene.
I love that movie. Funny. I love Scanners.
Yeah, it made my top 40 films of all time video. So I think it was like number 25 or something. It's pretty high up.
That and Shivers are my 2 favorite films.
Hey, Dave.
I want to watch Scanners.
Zombie reviews. I know, right? I was just thinking that actually.
Every time I think of Scanners, I always get the beginning of the score going in my head with that trumpet.
It's great.
Or that trombone. I think it's a trombone or something like that.
And then I just think of the head explosion scene, and then I just want to watch the whole movie.
Yeah. He's fucking loving it, isn't he?
It's one of the greatest fucking head explosions.
I still think, like, after the head explosion, when, like, you know, like, the agents come up to him and they're like, "You're coming with us." He's like, "I didn't do anything." He just tries to play it off. He's like, "Well, I didn't do anything."
Yeah.
It's my fault he's weak, man. He started scamming me with his own fucking head. What do you want from me?
I don't think I ever even saw the sequel, like Scanners 2, but the whole series, I never got into any of them.
Yeah, there's 3 of them in their Scanners.
They're so far out of the realm of the original film. Like that, I get why people like them, but they don't really work for me. Then again, a lot of sequels don't.
I'm sure I wouldn't care for it.
Scanners is a standalone.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to touch anywhere near the original.
The beginning's so good in that mall. When he starts, like, he's picking through the trash and he's eating that hot dog, and the lady's like, "Oh my God, look at this guy!" And then he's like, "I'm gonna scan this bitch."
Yeah, he deserved a bit of that, dude. What a snotty bitch, man.
And then she's all like, she starts bugging out.
He gets just on his face like he's gonna throw up. You know what I mean? When she's getting scanned, he's like,
"Oh yeah." Yeah, the Stuff Zodiac just brought up. That's a fun movie.
Stuff is crazy, yeah.
That commercial. That commercial. Where the stuff fell down. It's so catchy in that movie. So, we end up getting that. What do you guys think of that whole vision sequence in the beginning of her seeing the vision? I think that's one of the best parts of the movie, which I can see that shown leading to like seeing pacing issues in it, because that is, I think, an excellently filmed scene. And then so you're starting off with a great high, and then I could see it, pacing issues for people for sure.
It's just weirdly paced. It's not really issues. It's just weird paced. It's just
Yeah. It is kind of hard to describe, like that. It's not really a pacing issue, but it's more like the dialogue is riding it through, and the dialogue is just a bit dry here and there.
Yeah, I
get nothing stands out. That's the problem.
But that opening scene, and then you figure out that she's able to look at objects and be able to see what's happened in the past or even in the future, and she's able to figure out what's behind that wall. And that skeleton, I swear to God, that had to be a real skeleton. Like that
I'm pretty sure it was.
It looks so damn real. It looks like the most rotted skeleton ever.
It is pretty. It's fucking good looking. So, and I'm pretty sure I've read that in some trivia on IMDb maybe that he used a real skeleton. I mean, if Toby Hooper did in Poltergeist, I'm sure Fulci would go out and make sure to get a real skeleton. And then we have her ending up trying to, after they arrest her husband, because this person they found in the wall is an ex-lover of the husband, and she ends up keeps getting more and more visions, and she starts seeing the certain images and stuff from that vision in her life and stuff, and starts piecing everything together. And then we find out in the end that she wasn't seeing a past crime, she was seeing the future. And then her husband proceeds to try to kill her and bury her in the wall. So I think that's a great twist. I mean, that's one of the things that makes me love this movie a lot. It's just,
I was saying to Keith before, like with that whole thing that you just mentioned, like I was saying to Keith, like how much it reminds me of Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat.
Right.
Like how he's like, he puts his wife behind the wall and everything.
Yeah.
But like towards the end of the movie, well, like, when Jennifer O'Neill's like in the wall, like the one thing that just came to mind was like, why don't you just kick the wall? It's still wet.
I know, you would think, right? They just kick it right open at that point. Hear that music.
But it's not like it ruins it for me. It's just something that sticks out. Like, you idiot, just kick the wall. It'll fall apart.
That's I do that with every movie.
Exactly. I do that too. It's like, why don't you just, or like, why I think the best example of that is in Zombie, when the girl's about to get the stick in her eye. Like, why don't you just turn your head instead of going, I'm going to get this stick in my eye? Like, why don't you just turn your fucking head?
Exactly. I don't need that eye. I got another one.
That's what I did. That's why I've been having fun making those How to Survive Friday the 13th shorts.
Wow.
Because they're saying the same shit. It's like when Marcy in the first one, like, don't just stand there like an idiot when you have an axe coming your way, and like at least scream, like do something, like move or try to defend yourself. Like
she's accepted her fate. She's accepted.
It's just going doesn't help. Like, you're gonna die.
I just got some good dick. I'm happy.
Yeah, I guess that was her final thoughts in life. And that's good.
I just got laid real good. I'm all right. Go ahead and kill me.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Yeah. Congratulations on the 600, man.
Thank you, guys. That's one milestone closer to nothing. I mean, just keep going, keep on trucking. And yes, Carrie, in the wall. Is this like Stir of Echoes or no? Not really. I mean, I haven't seen Stir of Echoes in a while. There are similarities.
Yeah. You got that, and you've also got Changeling kind of has that aspect too, where the kid's still in the house buried. You know what I mean? Stuff like
Changeling is a great movie, and my boy Mike at the Real Fit Beetle, he hates that movie. That's one film that he thinks it's so boring. And I love it. George C. Scott. Yeah, George C. Scott, man, he kills in everything he's in. I mean, Exorcist 3 alone, and then The
You know,
Changeling. Just those
just
two
the,
movies, he's fantastic.
just a
I mean,
heartbreaking beginning, man. That Changeling does. That's rough. That beginning. I mean, can you imagine? You instantly feel where he's at, and then the next scene is he's laying in his bed, fucking just bawling. You know what I mean? And you're like, damn,
Yeah, it's
just bawling like a baby.
and
and
then
that
like you see him out in public, and he's like looking at kids. He's like looking
Oh
at like that
yeah,
one girl, and he like sees his daughter.
yeah.
yeah. It's fucked up, man. Being a father, you can't help but put yourself in that place. And I've lost a child, not in a tragic thing like that, but I did lose my daughter when she was 3, almost 3. I'm just glad it wasn't a tragedy like
Yeah.
that. I ain't gonna make it worse.
Um, what was I gonna say? So since this film's plot and most of Fulci's is so thin, I think
You
we'll
gotta
just like
experience it.
since it's our the second episode, we'll just talk more Fulci in general. So let's go around clockwise, starting with you, Keith. Your favorite Fulci film and why?
Oh man, my favorite of the trilogy is South by the Cemetery. I
Okay.
even though I do love Beyond and City of the Living Dead, I like for Duckling. This one's all right. This is a little lower. Um, shit, you got in the brain. That's good. Well, you had a lot of good ones, man.
Oh,
But
Cat in the Brain. I like. That's a very divisive
Zombie,
one.
Zombie to me is not only his best film, but top at least top 5 zombie films ever. So I'd have to say Zombie from '79.
I'd agree with that. I'm
It's a
pretty sure
fantastic
it
movie.
was in my top 5 in my top 10
Look at all
zombie
the
film
iconic
video.
moments it has, man.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got more iconic moments in that one zombie film than Romero, even though I love Romero, has in all 3 of his trilogy. He's got the
yeah.
shark fighting scene. He's got that splinter eye. He's
The
got
the
the where
splinter
they come
scene
up out
is
of there.
fantastic, and the look of the zombies are just great. And all of
It's
Fulci's
one,
films.
it's one iconic scene after another in that, man.
Oh, for sure. And I actually thought of this like a little bit before we hopped on. If imagine if Romero didn't exist and didn't
Like,
make Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead more specifically, what do you think Fulci's next movie after The Psychic here would have been like? Because
I
without
agree with you.
Romero, there was no he wasn't making zombie.
I
Well,
don't
I give
honestly.
it, it
Go
would have been
ahead,
a
Keith.
form. It would have been a form of City of the Living Dead. It would have been a little different because there's zombies, but then again they're not. I mean, they do come up out of the ground,
Yeah, there's
but they're more
supernatural
possessed.
zombies.
They're more possessed than they are, the undead.
Yeah,
So
and they can teleport and stuff like and just disappear like at will.
so it's not a zombie. It would have been a form of that movie. Some form
Like
of City of the Living Dead.
I think like I mean, if there wasn't Dawn of the Dead, I think there might be a chance that you could see Fulci maybe doing a Killer Shark movie. Because
Yeah,
at
Yeah,
that time, you know, you had all the Jaws ripoffs coming through.
that's
I don't know
true.
if he could pull it off, but I feel like the opportunity might have been there.
That's true. And I mean, a lot of his films are you can call them his whatever movie.
his
Like
interpretation.
Zombie is his Dawn of the Dead, and uh, Manhattan Babies like his Exorcist or Poltergeist, and Enigma is his Carrie. Like, so
Oh man,
you can
Black
see
Cat,
that
New
with a
York
lot of
Ripper. Forgot about them. Black Cat, New
yeah.
York Ripper. Forgot about
I mean, New York
that.
Ripper is a slasher, is his slasher film, but I mean, it's that's its own film on its own, man. It's such a crazy movie, man. New York Ripper is insane.
Black Cat's good too, man. It's great.
And
That fucking cat, the
that's
curtain
one we
knobs,
got to
everything.
that's one we got to do eventually.
Oh,
That's one I've
dude,
been wanting to talk about for a while. That's very underrated too for Fulci.
that's
I feel.
fun, man. That cat is fucked up. He crawls up
Oh
the
yeah,
motherfucker, gets the doorknob and turns the doorknob and comes in. He's like, "Fuck you! You can't get away from me. I can turn knobs, bitch."
that's funny. Oh, that's a very underrated one, man. I love the beginning of that.
Yes,
If I
yeah.
remember with the kill that the cat causes with the hanging, was it a hanging in a barn
Yeah,
or something. Yeah, that's great. Like that's
Keeps
such
into
a
that crazy
bonkers.
music and he's walking on the wall. Dun, 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 dun. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
that sort of music's great.
All right, good night,
Um,
Joseph.
who went? Oh, Joseph. All right, Joe. I'll talk to you later,
Yeah.
buddy. Take care.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Joseph's the horror guy.
Joseph's the horror guy. He's a cool guy.
Oh, shit.
All right, so caught up on that. So Carrie says no, Sean, no more killer shark movies, please. So Sean, your favorite Fulci film and why?
Man, it's a tough choice, but I gotta go with Zombie. It's cliche, but just dude, like Zombie's the one movie I feel like I can put on at any time and really have a good time watching it. There's some Fulci films that I like a lot, but I feel like I'm just not in the mood for all the time.
Yeah, yep. That's what I was
It's
just
like
saying earlier.
also it
Being
has a
in the
lot
mood
to
for
do
them.
with like just like the theme, the music throughout it. The fact that a fucking zombie fights a shark, and I still don't even understand how that zombie has a breathing apparatus underwater, and
Yeah.
he's willing to go up against a real tiger shark. Like, you cannot make a movie like that anymore.
Oh
Shark
no,
was fucked
never,
up though, didn't it? That shark was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
never today can
Yeah,
you make a
He
movie
tried to
like
bite
that.
me and shit. Just
It
fucking
there's
seemed
tried to
like
just
bite
like,
me.
I mean, like, there's times where like zombie does kind of drag in certain areas, but I feel like it's really like it's one of Fulci's masterpieces. It really is.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
dude.
I mean, it's the movie that broke him
It's
out
all time
like
great to me.
internationally.
Like
For me,
every summer, I have to make sure that I watch Zombie at least once. Every summer.
To me,
yeah.
it's all
I
time
mean,
great to me.
it's a great summer movie, just because of the island and stuff, the location.
Yeah, the atmosphere of it.
Like,
It's top five zombie
so
film.
two zombie. So mine
You
is
know
the
there's a lot of
Beyond,
yeah,
which
I like it.
the Beyond I think is Fulci's masterpiece. But
That's-
at this, it's so close with City of the Living Dead, right below it. Like it's so hard to pick on my top 10, my top 40 films of all time. I had to put the Three Gates of Hell and tie them at number 10 because I can't pick between
Trilogy's
the three of
great,
them.
isn't it? That
I
trilogy's
couldn't.
the most.
Yeah, I can't pick between the three of them. But I mean, City of the Living Dead, like Sean, like you were saying with zombies, you could throw it on whenever. City of the Living Dead and Beyond, I could throw on anytime and watch those Fulci movies. Like that's how, especially City of the Living Dead. Even though I do like the Beyond a little tiny bit better, the theme, the score, like just the last 20 minutes of City of the Living Dead is one of my favorite endings to a horror film. The effects with the throwing up her insides and shit, and the car is so nasty. It's gnarly looking. Like,
Well, he had
Like,
the zombie guy doing the music. The same guy that did
oh
zombie
yeah,
music.
Fritzi,
Living Dead.
Fabio Fritzi. He also did the music for this movie for the Psychic.
Yes.
you know, I feel like the Beyond, out of all of Fulci's films, I feel like that's the one that's obviously a scary zombie film, but it has such good unintentional humor in it. Like the whole
Yeah,
character of Plumber Joe. Just
yep.
seeing Plumber Joe makes me fucking laugh. And then you see him in the basement, he's trying to figure out why the wall's falling apart, and you got this creepy lady just like knowing what's going to happen.
Creepy. She's so creepy, dude.
And that basement is probably the most germ-infested place I've ever seen in a movie. Like, after seeing that basement, I'm like, fuck, dude, I need a shower.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, she goes to the like a bar later in the movie, and she says that the creepy woman and the guy she comes with came with the hotel.
Yeah.
Remember that's right. We were talking about this when we did the watch of it. That
Yeah,
came with
it's
the
like-
hotel. Like she
like-
can't fire them. She can't get new people. Like it's so weird.
That's the response. Like, that's her excuse throughout the film. Like, well, they came with the hotel.
Yeah, it's like, all right, so I guess the options are out then. Like they just got to keep them around, these creepy people.
It sets the tone right away. That movie does. Right at the very beginning of that movie, when they're chaining him up against that shit, and he's fucking melting. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's
Like,
that's such a great intro with the sepia filter, like the old Western yellowish filter. Like, it's such a great intro. I think that's why they're so close for me, City of the Living Dead and The Beyond, because I feel the City of the Living Dead ending is much better for me than The Beyond's. But the rest of the movie as a whole of The Beyond is better for me than City of the Living Dead. And the score in City of the Living Dead is better for me than Beyond. So they're the whole 3 films are just like one movie basically.
Yeah.
And they're so close in style and everything. I mean, House by the Cemetery it's my least favorite out of the 3, but it's still a masterpiece. And I know a lot of people that's their favorite Fulci film.
It's
House
close.
by the Cemetery. So Fulci.
So we got Beyond and 2 zombies. What's the chat's favorite?
Yeah, let's hear in chat Fulci's favorite movies. Favorite Fulci film.
Yeah.
Carrie said I actually like The Beyond. Yes, I know you did. It is amazing. Zodiac. I was introduced to City of the Living Dead because you just 1,000 thank yous. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, when we watched it, awesome movie. Hey, John.
Hey, Steve.
He's still here. He was here earlier.
I was talking to Keith today about you ever see the Wax Mask?
Yeah, that Argento was making like for Fulci, and then he died before they can finish it.
Yeah, like Fulci apparently like had the concept like laid out and like written out, and then he went to work on it, and then immediately got sick, and Argento decided to jump in and finish the movie for him. But dude, that movie is really good, and this is just my personal opinion. I really think out of any Italian horror film, that is the best effects I've ever seen.
I haven't seen it in a good amount of years, but I do remember the effects being good.
But I mean, it is from the mid-90s.
I gotta check it out again.
Yeah, I mean, it is from the mid-90s though. So like, obviously the effects work. You know, they had better stuff to work with, but everything looks so realistic. Even like all the wax statues inside the place, just
the wax statues. I remember those. That looks great.
And then like the opening scene, there's like it's like on New Year's Eve. There's a bunch of fireworks going off, and there's like a murder scene inside of a hotel room. And there's just blood and body parts all over the place. And there's this little girl under the bed crying. It's such an intense scene.
That's a
great. The whole movie is so good.
I gotta rewatch that. Thanks for bringing that up. Actually,
I would like to do that on this show eventually. Yeah, but I know Keith has got to pick it up eventually. I know he doesn't have a copy, but Severin released it on Blu-ray.
Oh, did they?
What's it about? Nice. Was it about like a Wax Museum or some shit or what?
What?
What's it about? Like a wax museum or some shit? Is that the setting?
Yeah, it's in a way it's like House of Wax, but done in Italian horror style.
Exactly.
But that's the artwork right there for the that's the slipcover. But there's alternate artwork that gives me Terminator vibes, even though this is a skeleton. Right? Like this reminds me of the Terminator.
That's the one I know. The cover I know for it.
But dude, it's a solid movie cover.
Oh yeah, we definitely gotta do that.
And I do think I think the whole movie is actually in Italian. I think there is an English option, but those English options are always out of place. You know what I mean?
Like, I can't watch a foreign horror film dubbed. Like it has to be in its native language.
Right, or like whatever it was like intentionally presented as.
Exactly. Yeah, like Italian films are different because they're dubbed with English and shit, and it's supposed to be. But like if I'm watching Japanese horror, Indonesian horror, and I need to watch it in that language with subtitles.
Yeah, because I tried watching Wax Mask with the English language just out of curiosity, and I was like, oh, we're turning this off. Real life. That's how bad it was.
That's what I thought with
read it.
Incantation last year, the found footage movie on Netflix, Incantation. That movie, where was it from? Somewhere in Asia or whatever. And there was they didn't tell you on Netflix there's an option to switch between dubbed and the Mandarin, I think Chinese is. So I'm looking at and I'm liking what I'm seeing the first 10 minutes, and then they're talking and stuff. And I said, yo, this is bad dubbing. Like, I don't know if I could take this. And then stupidly they had like a hidden way to turn it to the other version. So much better after that. Great movie, by the way. But like, yeah, the dubbing was just abysmal. I said if that dubbing, if that was the only version, like that movie would have been turned off. That's how bad it was.
It wasn't even bad. It was abysmal. That's even worse.
It was bad. Like real bad.
But I'm always curious, though. Like when there is a movie that's in a foreign language and it does have the English language, I'm always like, let's check it out real quick.
Oh yeah,
I'm always like, yeah, that's pretty bad.
You're interesting shit doing that.
Just to see. What's she saying, mate? First recommendation from UJT, which is I don't know. She said first recommendation.
From you, I think she's asking for a recommendation. I always give recommendations of film.
Oh yeah, I'll let her answer and see if that's what she wants. May, we're gonna do something for your birthday. Me and Carrie are gonna make a video also for a Friday film because she loves Friday the 13th.
What day is her? Is her birthday on a Friday or what day is that on?
I think it's like a Wednesday or something.
I think it's the middle of the week, right? Yeah.
Like
Incantation, May? Yeah, I did a video on that when it came out. It's a good movie.
I like to bring her on a watch.
Yeah. Well, that was a good when we had her on voice that time. Remember we had her on?
I've never been on with her. I've never even heard her on. I completely missed it.
Oh, that's right. You weren't there. Sean, you were.
Yeah.
It was you, me, and then a few other people. I don't remember who. But yeah, that was fun. Oh yeah, Friday the 13th. Sunday the 13th. But she loves Friday the 13th. Yeah, Carrie, why can't it be Friday, May? That'll be so cool if her birthday was Friday the 13th.
I think the next Friday the 13th is actually October 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in October.
We're gonna that's a nice little extra bonus in October.
Keith, speaking of that, because how we're doing the Tuesday show with Friday the 13th. If we ride that all the way up to October, I think it might be wise to switch out Tuesday for Friday.
For the ones in October.
Like it's like to watch one of the Friday films on Friday the 13th.
Absolutely, definitely. Yeah, we definitely will.
Oh yeah. I mean,
got to, man. Got to.
My whole life, ever since I saw the first Friday film in this whole series, every Friday the 13th because I'm watching Friday the 13th. So that's a every Friday the 13th thing.
It's a perfect excuse.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no better reason than to throw on the Friday films. The series is one of the few physical medias that I still have left before I went all digital.
I'm going to type up a calendar here, and I'm going to see exactly which one that would be.
Maybe it might be like Jason X.
We're getting ready to do portfolio soon.
The Devil's Honey. John, I never saw. That's one Fulci film I haven't seen. The Devil's Honey. Conquest. I've seen. I know it's not a horror film, but that one's good though. Conquest. That one doesn't get mentioned a lot. You're right.
Yeah, I still need to see The Devil's Honey and Woman in a Lizard Skin or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I've seen Conquest though.
Yeah, Conquest is fun. That's a good one. Like the track record that Fulci and Argento had, and with that fall off in the '90s, just Bava, I feel, never had that. Like that's why out of my top 40 films, when I did my video on it a month ago, four of them, the most on the list, were Mario Bava films, which I thought was very interesting. That the most films from a director on my top films of all time list is Mario Bava. And it makes sense because, I mean, I've never seen a bad Bava film. And I've seen almost all of his horror films. Now, Keith, favorite Bava film?
Oh shit.
We're just throwing curveballs.
Oh shit. I don't know, man. Shit. I don't want to go with the obvious. I want to do something a little different. Hatchet for a Honeymoon is really good. Kill It to Kill is really good. Black Sabbath is a great anthology.
Mm.
Shit, man, I don't know.
Did he do Black Sunday?
That was his first film.
I think that would be mine, actually. Honestly.
Barbara Steele, hell yeah. I've got an autographed picture of Barbara Steele right there.
Well, I always consider Psycho and Black Sunday the two most influential horror films of all time, pretty much. And they both came out the same year, 1960. So
I'm gonna say fuck it and say Black Sabbath simply for that opening sequence fucking thing when she steals the ring. That one is so fucking scary, man.
Dude,
Black Sabbath,
the corpse face is terrifying.
Give me my ring, bitch.
The drop of water segment. That is the most scary looking face on a corpse in a film. Man, that's effective still to this day. And all this stuff is just still so effective and so low budget, but still works so well. And Kill Baby Kill is my favorite Bava film. And we've talked about it. It's just the ghost is just a little boy, Italian boy with a wig on to be a girl. That's it. That's the end of effects. And it's creepy as shit. And there's a great jump scare in Kill Baby Kill with the ghost girl. That's how you do a jump scare. Great movie. But Black Sunday, Black Sabbath, great choices. Lamberto.
First one I've ever seen of you.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Interesting. Because it's always hard for me to pick between Kill Baby Kill and Lisa and the Devil, but Kill Baby Kill edges it out.
Lisa and the
Devil, amazing.
Keith, do you have Black Sunday on Blu-ray?
No, I do not have it, but I want it, and the one that I want is the Arrow Window slipcover edition. That's the one I want. That's what I'm gonna get.
Right now, I'm looking at the Kino Lorber one. It's only like $15.
Black Sabbath runs about $780, $100.
Black Sabbath or Black Sunday?
That's Arrow Window slipcovers too. Yeah, I've already got 20 of them sealed. So
yeah,
it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. Steel, 1958, the day this guy exploded, is Bava's director debut. I mean, Bava was he was a cinematographer turned director, and he was finishing films for directors leaving their projects and stuff, and just not a lot of times uncredited.
Didn't he work for Sergio Leone and shit too? That's how he started, was in the westerns with him, wasn't it?
Yeah. And just finishing people's movies, and I mean, it makes sense of why the cinematography is phenomenal in every Bava films, because he started as a cinematographer.
Right.
I'm pretty sure his father was in the movie business also. Mario.
They said he was the nicest guy, man. They said Bava was the nicest person.
Yeah, he's one guy I would kill to have been able to interview him if he was still alive.
Yeah.
And talk with him.
I keep hearing that a lot of Bava films from Kino Lorber are going to be going out of print soon. I know A Bay of Blood is out of print, but I also heard that Kino has no interest in releasing any Bava films on 4K. I don't know if that's definite. It's just what I've read on the internet. But like I'm kind of confused because like I
The
feel
Kino
like I'm
transfer
gonna
is
like
great.
buy some Baba films on Blu-ray, like the Kinos, and then bang, the 4Ks will come out.
Yeah. That's probably happens a lot, right? Fucking wait for it.
Yeah, that's like the one conflict with being a collector.
Yeah. The Kino transfers are the ones that are on Amazon Prime are the Kino transfers, and they look glorious. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
they
much
do.
every single Baba film that's on Amazon that are the Kino transfers I've seen, they look phenomenal.
Them and Blue Underground. Blue Underground is great for the transfer too on the 4K.
Yeah. I love Blue Underground. I just wish they were a little more consistent with releases. That's my only issue with them.
We have answer in chat from Steele. It says his he would have to go Shock as his
Nice,
favorite
bro.
Baba film.
Nice,
First horror
bro.
film he remembers seeing.
Yeah, we gotta pick Shock one of these weeks
Shock is
because I
great.
have it on DVD and I haven't seen it in a long time. And I remember the first time I saw it, I didn't really care for it too much, but I want to see it again to have a better opinion about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is like we were three of us were talking before going live and stuff that we're gonna try to keep in the beginning episodes here the more popular Italian horror films and directors and things that we're very familiar with, and that some you guys are and stuff. And then as we go forward, we can keep diving into more obscure Italian horror stuff, and you guys can be following us on that dive into it if you want to and enjoy
Definitely.
Italian horror.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
we'll
I
influence
gotta.
people to check them out and shit too. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna influence people to want to watch.
Well, what we
I
can
got
do
a
is
triple feature with Shock. So this is a
what
Blue Underground triple feature with Shock.
is
It's
that
got
a
a
Blade
Blade
in
in
the
the
Dark
Dark,
and Macabre?
Macabre, and Shock.
Nice.
Ooh, Blade in the Dark. Hell
Blade in
yeah.
the Dark's
Oh, Macabre
great.
too, man.
Macabre is
Macabre
great
is
too. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
dude, I feel like
Limberto's
Macabre is definitely a worthy Italian slasher, I guess you could say, but
oh yeah.
nobody ever
all
talks
three of
about
those.
it.
All three of those are kick-ass, man.
Yeah.
Twitch of the
Give me like 2 minutes. I gotta go help my
Yeah.
dad real quick do something. So I'll be
No
right
problem.
back.
All right.
Anytime. Zodiac says Twitch of the Death Nerve. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Twitch of the Death Nerve is the alternate title for A Bay of Blood, which for me is the greatest fucking title of all time for a horror movie. Twitch of the Death Nerve. Like
Here's the sealed arrow window slipcover.
yeah, I've seen that one. That's a nice one.
There's
all the art I've seen for Twitch is great.
Bloodbath is our name for it.
Carnage, I think was one, right?
La Baye or something. Singlet. Yeah. Baye de Singlet or some shit. A Bay of Blood, Bloodbath. Yeah, there's several names. Twitch of the Death Nerve. That is a bad fucking title, man.
Oh, it's so good. It is Jay, it is a picture of somebody playing guitar with buildings that become people playing guitars. It's like some trippy painting.
Psychic's got a badass name too, backup name too. Murder to the tune of 7 Black Notes. That's almost as good as Twitch of the
I
Death
love
Nerve.
that. Oh yeah, I love that one. I love that's why I mean Bay of Blood is a good title, but Twitch.
You sound so American, man.
And Joe Dante, even I saw an interview like recently, like I saw him talking about something, and he said he was talking about Bava, and he mentioned Twitch of the Death Nerve. He said, which is the greatest name for a movie ever. I said, yo, hell yeah, Joe Dante. I said, absolutely. What a badass title that is.
The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a pretty good one too.
I like the one that you gotta watch soon. Try to track it down. The House with the Laughing Windows.
Yes, actually, Amazon has that. It was like 10, 11 bucks for the DVD, but now they jacked it up to 20.
That's a movie that's been like out of print or out of distribution for a long while too. That's why it's they finally released it.
You don't find it very many places, man. Like you type it up, you may see a couple someplace. You never see a lot of different versions of it.
Oh yeah. Steele says, question: why do Italian horror directors have this weird mother and son relationship tropes that border on skeevy? Examples that come to mind: Shock and Burial Ground off the top of my head. I don't
Burial
know.
Ground. Really.
They're fucking different.
Burial Ground
The
is
drugs
one
in
of
the
the
'80s were good. There's multiple possibilities.
Peter Burke takes that to a whole new level, and man, fucking in like a Burial Ground.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at
Mama,
not
mama.
Italian, but look at Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
Right.
That film's fucked up.
Yo, first time I ever saw that movie, I went to a horror movie screening where they didn't announce the movies,
Yeah.
and that was one of the movies. And like I just like went out. I went out to the store like during intermission, and I came back in, and I'm watching the beginning of it, and I was like, some guy was sitting next to me. I was like, "Yo, what are we watching right now?" He's like, "I don't know, some movie called Night Warning." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." And like I was glued and engaged into it because of how fucking crazy the mother was.
Yeah, that's right. Night Warning was the other title for it.
Like, kind
She's
pieces,
so nuts,
pieces,
Aunt
man. The
Cheryl.
mom in pieces. Jesus Christ. She's
Oh
a
yeah,
mean bitch.
pieces is
You
one of
little
my
bastard. You know what I mean? It's like, God damn. No wonder he's a fucking maniac.
There's another similar mother slash turns out being not the mother or vice versa in Fate to Black from 1980. It's a
Right.
great film.
You know, I only have
Dennis
one
Christopher.
issue with Fade to Black. My only issue with Fade to Black is I wish it had a stronger ending.
Yeah,
Right.
I can see that. I mean, it's
That
cool that it ends on the top of the Chinese theater and shit, but like, and I can see it. Yeah, it's a little
It's like
anticlimactic.
everything becomes slow mo, and then he like jumps
Yeah.
off the roof, and it's just very uneventful. But
It's-
other than that, it's a great movie.
It's anticlimactic for sure, but yeah, it is a
Yeah.
great movie. It's the second video I did on my channel. It was Fade to Black, and it's you don't hear about it talked about that often. Which
I mean, it was
Dennis
like
Christopher's performance.
it was
phenomenal.
out of print for a long time until Vinegar Syndrome revived it.
Oh, that's who did right, Vinegar.
Yeah, because
thank God
Anchor
they did.
Bay, I think Anchor Bay released it on DVD in a double feature, and then
I
once
both
that went out of
slipcovers.
print, it was gone.
Both.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great movie.
He's
Rennie-
got both slips, one for each hand.
So, if anyone in chat hasn't seen that movie, Fade to Black from 1980, check that out. Just
I got
for
all five from Cutting Class too. All five slipcovers from Cutting Class.
Fade to Black has a very young Mickey Rourke in it too.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Yes, that is.
That dude's the dude from It. He's the one who played the man, the sickly kid.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, okay.
cool.
Is it? I didn't know that.
That's the same guy that plays him. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh yeah, it's Fate to Black was his bitchy aunt in the wheelchair. Oh yeah, and then
I see. Lady J Ghoul just mentioned Dance Macabre. I haven't heard that one in so long.
yeah, actually, I haven't either. Dance Macabre.
I forgot about that movie, Dance Macabre.
Yeah, in fact, I got reminded the other day of two movies that I put a poll up of which to do soon. Extro from '82 and Devil.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, I'll be doing a video this week on both. But Extro,
That movie is the best. Like, it's such
so
good
out
sci-fi nonsense.
Yeah.
And it has really good atmosphere too.
It does. It has great fucking effects. It has great atmosphere, like you said. It's balls to the wall crazy. Like he looked in the suit that he wears at the beginning, like the creature and the alien. Like
Yeah.
the guy was like doing the spider walk with his chest to the sky, but the suit that he was wearing it backwards, so the head so it looks like really awkward. So he's crawling around in this prosthetic suit in the swamp and shit for hours on end. We're like doing a crab walk. Like that happened. It's so hard to do.
I remember the first time I watched that on Blu-ray, and I was checking out the special features, and it was really crazy to hear that the director, his name's Harry Davenport or something, or Harry Bromley Davenport or something. And he was like, for most of the shoot, we were just smoking weed all day, so we were really high out of our minds. And then he's like, surprisingly, we had a very high budget, and we didn't even know what to do with the money, so we decided to buy a Black Panther. Why? I don't know, because we had the money to buy a Black Panther. Let's film a Black Panther.
Bob
They
Shea
just bought a
wanted his
bunch of
Black
random
Panther.
shit. But usually you hear with those kind of movies, the budget was too low and we couldn't do this because we didn't have enough money. Now with
This is
Extra, they had too much money and they didn't know what to do with it.
They spent 90% of it on pot.
Yeah, right.
And then just sat there thinking of crazy shit to do. Like Bob Shea from New Line, like, oh, we need a panther. Like, what you mean?
Yeah.
We need a panther in the movie. All right, we get this panther.
Yeah, I think they actually spent about $1,500 on the Panther, somewhere around that. And the Panther is only in the movie for about maybe 6 seconds.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's
like,
a skill. Good price.
It's like you see the Panther like jumps at somebody, and that's it. You don't see him anymore.
So
they spent
random.
like $1,500 on that shit.
It's so random, that movie. I mean, Bob Shea from New Line wanted to basically like make it have like their Phantasm, and that's kind of like what he wanted it to be like. And you could see it, like it's very out there and surreal and just random. It's an excellent movie, though. Can't wait to talk about that more.
Keith, what were you just showing? Humanoids from the Deep?
Humanoids, yeah. Humanoids. That's a great one too.
This is the 88 Films edition account. This is Slip, and then here is this right here is much more true to form what the movie's about. That's much more
Isn't that that's the artwork for like the title for Monster from the Deep or something like that? I know there's an alternate title for it.
Yeah, there's
I forget. I have no idea what it is.
Or actually, I think it's just called Monster.
This is fucked up.
That might be right. Actually, that sounds right. That it has a simple monster.
I think it's called Monster, and then the official title is Humanoids from the Deep.
Yeah, because I've always known it as Humanoids from the Deep, but I know it does have another title. I think you're right with Monster.
Rob Bottin does the effects in it too.
Oh yeah, and Humanoids. No, great effects. Like that's such a sleazy but underrated movie too. Like what a great movie that is.
The fuckers come up out of the deep just to rape the fucking women. Period.
Yeah, and kill the men, and that's it. Rape the women and killing the men.
Very beginning of the film, man. It's like I remember I seen this fucking thing when I was like 8 years old. I seen it, I was like, I can't believe it. I seen it.
You're like, man.
Mom was like, well, we're not watching this. Click. I was like, but Mom, Mom, my ass. I don't think so.
That's funny. I just see that at 8. I mean, I'm trying to think of the craziest movie now. Like, because Halloween was my first movie, horror film, 6, and then the Friday films was soon after. I'm trying to think of like what was the most disturbing film that I've seen the youngest. I don't know. That's something I'm gonna have to stew on. That's an interesting thing.
You know what movie like really lingered with me for a long time, and I caught it on TV. I missed it from the beginning, so I could never figure out what it was called. Do you remember a movie called The Pit from 1981?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where there's like this little kid, he's like obsessed with his babysitter, and he ends up finding a hole in the ground, like out in his backyard, like deep in the woods, and there's a bunch of these little creatures living there, and they call them like trolologs or something like that.
Yeah, I remember it.
And so he decides that anybody who like a bunch of people are like picking on him, and people are being bullied, or like he's being bullied. So he decides that anybody who pisses him off and fucks with him, he decides to lure them out into the woods and pushes them into the hole.
Man,
For years, I could not figure out the title of that movie. I was like, what's the name of this movie? And then I find out it's just called The Pit. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's good reminder with that. I haven't thought of that movie in forever.
And he also has like a minor like split personality going with his teddy bear in his room. He thinks his teddy bear is real.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And his teddy bear is like telling him like, kill them. I drink your blood. That's a fucking wild movie right there.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a Sunday matinee.
I will not miss that one. Yeah, I love that movie.
It'll
You know,
probably come
it's
next Sunday after. It's gonna be Jaws this coming Sunday. I'll probably do I Drink Your Blood one after.
oh nice. You know what? I'll
Dude,
be
I
there for
Drink Your Blood
I'll
is
be there
fun.
for Jaws. I haven't watched Jaws in like a decade. I've never been a big fan of Jaws.
I've never done it before, and I fucking love it. You know, it's big. It's big. It's very nostalgic for me because my mom adored it, which means
Yeah.
I've seen it a lot as a kid.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think we all have movies like that just you've seen so many times. It's just even if it's not a good movie, you still love it.
And it's got Lynn Lowry in it.
Oh yeah,
From,
nice. I haven't seen that.
from,
There's another one I haven't seen in fucking a while.
from Shivers, from
Yeah,
Shivers and the Crazies and
Shivers
shit.
is one Cronenberg film that I still haven't
I
seen
fucking
to this
love it.
day.
Really, it's great, dude. You
I
gotta see it.
know. I love Rabid. I love The Brood. Is my
We
favorite.
do a
It
watch
might
of
be
it.
my favorite Cronenberg. Is The Brood.
We'll do a watch of it. We'll do
yeah.
a watch of it sometime, and
Hell yeah,
so you can see it. You got to see it. I insist.
Yeah. I'll definitely do that. Be a first
It's
time
my
watch
second
for me.
favorite. It's my second favorite Cronenberg.
What's your first?
Scanners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a Videodrome fan, man. I do not like James Woods. I don't like that.
I'm iffy on
second-looking
James Woods
vagina
too.
in his stomach.
The vagina, the stomach, yeah. The video too. I mean,
That's
Videodrome, I feel,
stupid.
is a little overrated for a Cronenberg film. I mean,
James-
like I just said, like The Brood, I feel should be much more talked about and hyped than
The Brood is
Videodrome is. The Brood's my favorite Cronenberg.
I mean,
Like,
James
You
Woods
know that,
can act.
like,
I just don't like him.
apparently Cronenberg, like, when they were filming Videodrome, they weren't fully done with the screenplay yet.
Yeah.
And there was times where they would have to take a break because of the effects and the sets. They would have to reset things up, and Cronenberg would take a nap on the couch.
Yeah.
And he would wake up and be like, all right, give me a pen and paper. I want to start writing the script again. Apparently, he was having dreams about the whole Videodrome story. And he would
And
just
they
wake up from a
write it.
nap and start writing the script. And then he'd be like, all right, next scene's ready to go.
That's like that's basically how David Lynch writes most of his stuff. Like he gets most of his inspirations from dreams.
I just don't know how somebody can do that. Like how do you know you're definitely going to be able to have a dream? You know,
well, I mean, that's true.
And you got like a time schedule to make this movie, and it's like, don't worry, we're gonna get it done. I just got to take a nap first.
It's like, yo, I haven't dreamt in the last 6 weeks. We got 2 weeks to go. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I dream?
But that's what I love about Cronenberg, dude. He is limitless. He's limitless, and he is not scared to do something.
Oh, he's every film is a completely different identity to it.
I mean, Crash is probably one of the most odd movies I've ever seen from him. But it's so odd that I want to keep watching, even though it's people wanting to have orgasms over car crashes.
Yeah.
Really insane concept. But apparently there's people out there in the world that are like that.
Oh,
They get off on car crashes.
It's such a wild concept.
Hey, if you can get one, that's the right time to have it.
Yeah, but
I love the scene when they're at the BMW dealership, and the one girl's got like knee braces on, and they're like touching the car in the showroom, and then eventually they start making out, and the dealer comes over. He's like, "Can I help you guys?" And they're just like, "We're still thinking about if we want this car or not," and like they're trying their best not to fuck in the showroom.
Cronenberg's a sick man. I fucking love it.
Yeah, Cronenberg is just, his material is so disturbing. That's what fascinates me the most, and that's why I love David Cronenberg. You never know what you're gonna get with him.
Oh yeah,
that's
just
the
way that he just throws whatever his vision is, and fuck you, this is how it is. I'm making this crazy ass movie, and he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I even liked his newest film, Crimes of the Future. I mean, it's weird. I can understand why some people are not into it, but at 79 years old, he still proves that he can make a movie.
He's one of the few left.
I still haven't seen his newest one, Crimes of the Future.
Me either.
It's weird, but it's good.
Yeah, I gotta finally check that out. I was gonna do it when it came out, and then like cover some Cronenberg films. And then for some reason, I just never got around to seeing the new movie. Then I didn't cover Cronenberg till like 2 months ago with Scanners.
Well, I think, like Crimes of the Future came out during COVID too, and I think I remember it did get a pushback. I think the date got pushed back on it, which kind of affected it in a way.
I remember it getting delayed or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like delayed like 3 months or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I still gotta check that one out. I loved Infinity Pool from his son. I thought Infinity Pool was fantastic.
Man. I'm not big on him for some reason.
I just got Possessor in the mail today. I haven't seen it yet.
That's the one I haven't seen. I saw
like
his first film. I can't remember the name of his first one. Then he did Possessor.
Antiviral.
Yeah, Antiviral. That's it. And then Possessor's the one I haven't seen. It's a Brendan Cronenberg.
But I'm trying to hold out on Infinity Pool because of that uncut version. And right now, the uncut Blu-ray is like $35, and they can go fuck themselves for that price. So I'm waiting for that to drop.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you for that. I mean, it's great, but it's not like worth that much.
Yeah, I'm trying to wait till it drops down to like at least 15.
Yeah, then that's I mean it's worth it for that.
Golf is fantastic, guy.
Russell says he agrees that his new film was great.
Golf can act. Just like Pearl is much better than X in my opinion. I love Pearl.
I like them both equally, honestly. I like them both.
Two completely different things, you know.
Jay, Halloween was my first horror film at 6 years old as well, and I've been hooked ever since.
I turned 6 in 1979.
Yep, mine was 6 years old on Halloween night. Looked in the TV guide and I see Halloween, and I say that's today, and then I had no idea what I was in for. But man, I loved that music. I loved Michael Myers' mask. I loved everything about it.
I tormented my neighborhood, man. I walked around, stood beside fucking bushes and shit.
I used to do that same thing. Yeah, I used to have a Michael Myers mask.
Neighbors were talking to my mom, going, "Something's wrong with your son, man." And she's like, "No, he
exactly.
He likes horror movies." And they were starting to call cops on me and shit. They were worried I was going to be a serial killer. It's like, no, I'm just trying to be like Michael. I was like 8 or something.
I think a lot of us horror fans are like that when we were young. Like those of us who get into it very young. Because I did the same thing pretty much, and I've heard that same type of experience from many other horror fans. Like, I had to be a therapist in school because they thought we were going to be a murderer or something like that. And then it's like, yo, it's just for horror movie fans. Like, relax. Like,
man, your son was staring at us through a fucking window. Can you make him stop, please?
That's funny.
Well, yeah, one Italian horror film we're going to have to get around to watching eventually is Joe D'Amato's Beyond the Darkness.
Yeah.
We are going to
things about it. I've never seen it.
If you were to ask me right now, like, what is your top 3 Italian horror films? This is in the top 3.
Joe D'Amato is great. He has some amazing films.
I mean, the guy started out in the porn business, and then he actually slowly got into horror films, but then he decided to go ahead and make Erotic Nights of the Living Dead. So he figured, I'll add in the porno with the horror, and nobody was down with that at all.
Yeah, they're like, no, we'll just take our porn. Like,
I love that porn horror, like John Rowland, them, man. I fucking love those.
Like,
I got quite a few of those.
Oh, what was I thinking of?
Dude, Grapes of Death might be my favorite.
Two orphan vampire, you know what I mean? It's just good shit, man.
Dude, like, I feel like Gene Rollin is like very like in his own category. Like, there is filmmakers and films out there that you could compare to his style and his stuff, but I really feel like Gene Rollin is really like in a category of his own.
She killed an ecstasy.
Oh yeah.
Fascination.
Yeah.
Jay says Exorcist was one of her favorites to show. Yeah,
Exorcist.
Amazing. What is you guys? Vampires.
Requiem for the Vampire. It's good shit.
A lot of vampires. Oh, the
You got the
Vampire
collection.
Nice.
Yeah.
Exorcist. Have you guys seen the trailer for Exorcist Believer?
Unfortunately,
Yes.
What do
Yeah.
you guys? How do you feel about this?
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it as much as a lot of people do. Um, but you can tell it's just your basic shit, man.
Yeah,
They're just
that's
copying off the Exorcist. They look like two Ray.
yeah,
I mean,
basic.
for me, like new trailers don't do much for me. The last time I was excited about a trailer was Halloween 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it was just more of like, it's just the whole idea, like we're getting another Halloween film. This is pretty cool. And that eventually died out. But well, another thing is with the Exorcist Believer trailer, I saw a leak of it before it was even released. It was a rough copy of it. But
oh yeah.
once the real trailer came out, I was like, oh yeah, I already saw this.
It has things about it that's interesting, that could be interesting if they do it
That's
right.
that's
David
how I
Gordon Green,
feel about it. But just his Gordon Green's whole trilogy
that was.
and track record here is just like it
Well,
really
look, man,
concerning, like very concerning for me. Like,
make one fucking movie at a time, especially when you're dealing with something like that. Just make that.
yeah,
Make sure it's two
exactly.
good
Don't
solid
make
movies.
a plan for a trilogy, a
Yeah.
movie shit where you can risk one movie being terrible, and let alone let's
Shut
risk it on
themselves
three
in.
movies in a series. Like why do that? I agree. Like they should do the first movie, see how that is. If people love it and it turns out being a surprise and that it's a great movie, then
Well,
yeah,
anytime
by
you
all
spread
means.
yourself out that thin, you're gonna have problems. Put all your energy and all your creativity into one film. Don't think about stretching it throughout three immediately. Who the fuck
Right. I see what
fucking
you're saying there. Like with you saying
Peter
that, in a
Jackson
way,
or
it can end up taking your focus off the first film in a way.
yes, man.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like you can start worrying about the next film and you're not even done with the first one yet.
yeah,
Exactly. That's
Or
what
you
happened.
might end up working on, let's say, 2 or 3 films and you're already done with the first one, but then you realize as you're working on the second and third one, like, damn, we should have did this in the first one.
no, yeah. I'm sure that happens. That's
I
all
heard
the
that
time.
Linda Blair was going to be in one of either because part two is going to be called Deceiver. I don't know what the third was going to be called, but I heard Linda Blair is going to be in one of those last two. It's like what the fuck, man. I think Chris McNeil is going to die in this one.
I mean,
Um,
seeing her in Ellen Burstyn, who's one of my favorite actresses of all time, in the trailer, which just gave me like chills for a second. Like when the music really kicked in, then and then you see her, Chris, for the first time. All of that was pretty cool. But
yeah, like
it's just
we've
the
met
thing.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, that we met then the great homage to the original with the mom, it's hurting instead of it's burning.
She was making fun of
Great.
her.
Yeah.
She is making fun of her when she's doing that.
Oh yeah, and
I can see it.
it's a great homage to the original. But besides that, I mean, everything else looks very just run of the mill,
Yeah.
modern
Hear about the
horror,
Halloween series?
Blumhouse stuff.
Or,
I
the
like.
Halloween
I mean,
series that's coming on Netflix the 18th. John Carpenter and Sean Cunningham are doing it, I guess. It's called Halloween Origins.
no, I didn't hear about that. I gotta see. Because Meg just mentioned here, someone broke a non-trailer. Yeah, I broke my non-trailer watching Rule for Saw X because I just couldn't contain myself because I love Saw so much, and it was bugging me because continuity is such a big thing for me, and since it's set between
Shawnee Smith, oh dude,
yeah,
Shawnee Smith
I know.
coming back. I'm pretty
She's
excited
coming
about that,
back.
too.
Kramer's coming. Tobin Bell's going to be
That
back. Good
series
job.
follows itself really well, I think, man.
The
They all
first,
fit together really good.
it's
First
one of my
7
favorite horror franchises,
Hell yeah.
especially
The
1
first
through
7
7. They're like just a perfect continuation, like it's horror soap opera
One big movie.
Yeah, and of all the connections that they pay attention to their detail, and that was the reason I had to break my vow of not watching trailers because now it's set between Saw 1 and 2,
I
and
understand why people shit on it. I don't get it.
yeah, no, I know, I never have. I mean, I don't even like. I mean, the traps are a bonus. Like I like the story and shit. Like that's what I love Saw for the most. The traps are just like an ice. Yeah, it's just like an icing on the cake. But then after I watched the trailer for Saw 10, I was like, the next like recommended one was for Exorcist Believer, and I said, all right, well, I really don't care about this movie much, so I'll check it out.
Travis
like
Connect
I
look
said,
good.
it looks all right. Though. I mean, possibly could be. Could we get something good? Yeah,
hope
maybe. I hope.
I hope they're all good. That would be great. I don't
Oh
want
yeah,
any of them to be bad. I'm rooting for all of them, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, that's how I try to. I don't think any of us like watching a movie and hating it. You know, I mean, like I'm always
I hope
we
this sucks.
always
Man.
want. Yeah, you know, like I hope this movie fucking blows, man.
I'll,
It's like we
I'll
always
watch all
wanted
of it. I hope
movies
it
to be
sticks.
better.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get a surprise. I mean, we got what
Garbage. We
Beetlejuice
need
2 also. That we're gonna
Yeah.
get. So who knows how that's gonna go? I know nothing about it or
You know,
anything.
Michael Keaton's make a big comeback, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
He did the Batman shit in Flash. He's coming back as Beetlejuice. That motherfucker's a hell of an actor, man. Michael Keaton can act.
Oh yeah, man. His role in Beetlejuice is just
Clean
iconic,
sober.
and he improvised a hell of a lot of his scenes and dialogue, and a lot of stuff he was in, but especially in Beetlejuice, he did a lot of
Yeah,
improv.
he did a lot of that in Mr. Mom. He did a lot of that in
Yeah.
fuck, I can't remember that one name. Or that one movie where he works in that factory. What is that fucking show, man? He's like a foreman or some shit.
Oh, I know what you mean. I can't
Fuck.
I can't think of it.
But
Yeah, he's great.
he did Clean and Sober, where he's a drunk and he's trying to get clean. He goes to rehab. That's a good film too, man. You can play anything.
Keaton is great, and he has such great just improv skills and comedic timing.
Yeah. He's a natural comedian.
No, yeah, I mean, the first time I saw Beetlejuice, man. Actually, when I was just thinking earlier, like what, like scared me more, like as a kid, like the sandworms and shit from Beetlejuice. Where I saw that movie, I was probably like 6, 7 or so. That shit used to scare the shit out of me. Those sandworms.
Another one with Keaton, Pacific Heights.
Oh
yeah,
wow,
that's a good one. I haven't seen that.
The crazy neighbor. Yeah, he's fucking fucked up.
Yeah, I got every stream I do. I feel like I got like 7 movies I go away with that I say, shit, all right, cool. I got reminded of all these movies. I gotta watch them soon. It's like on a daily basis. Like I find like 7 to 10 films throughout the day. They're like, oh shit, man, that movie's great. I haven't seen that in forever. I gotta do that. Add that to the list. Steele's favorite.
I want to recommend the film to everybody. I'm doing this coming Monday on my Monday night watch along. Dead and Buried. Anybody hasn't seen it?
Excellent movie.
Excellent. Join me Monday. Monday I'm doing.
Love Dead and Buried. Great movie. Ginger Ninja just recently did a 60-second review on it.
That's why I'm doing it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'm good. I got to do on the Empty Man a video on that soon, a long discussion on that because I recommended it to Ginger and then he checked it out and he really liked it. And now I've been dying to talk about that movie since the channel started. And it's a movie that not many people have seen. I mean, it was released during the middle of the pandemic, so no one went to theaters to see it, and then it was just out of theaters, and then Redbox was the only place that you can even get a copy of it. I still think there is no physical release of it, of The Empty Man. But what
I'm not sure.
Phenomenal movie.
I think I might have seen maybe a DVD of it on Amazon. Maybe. Of course, it might be a bootleg because they put.
It's possible. It's possible it might be a bootleg. It was, and then it was streaming on HBO Max for months and months and months, and like they had it on there forever. Then they took it off for like the last few months. Took it off pretty recently.
Yeah, chances are it's probably a bootleg. Play it burn.
I'm pretty sure a friend of mine, who is also a huge fan of the film, my friend Lauren, said that they still haven't had a physical release for it, an official one. But I'm pretty sure he did say there was a bootleg or two out there.
Not a factory release, right?
Yeah. Which have you seen that movie? Either of you?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Empty Man.
No, I seen the poster art for it.
Yeah, the movie is so good. It's very
is it like related to Slender Man?
No, that's another reason why it wasn't seen much, because don't watch the trailer, because they make that shit look like a completely different movie. The studios made the trailer. It makes it look and sound like a Slender Man or Bye Bye Man or like some type of stupid shit
Why
like that.
can't
Like,
we get
it's a
why can't we
very
get good Slenderman
layered,
movies?
deep movie. Like Lovecraft is like really Lovecraftian and stuff at times. It's my 19th favorite film of all time. It's
If if
phenomenal.
they made a good if you got good filmmakers making it who are passionate about it, a Slenderman movie could be really fucking good. But they
We just
cannot
haven't
seem to make
gotten
it.
one yet. Yeah, we
No,
haven't got one.
that's a
Because
shame
I've
too.
seen a few of them. I've seen most of them that have come out, and then none of them are great.
There's one that's the best one, and it doesn't call him Slenderman. It's something I can't remember what it's called. But
But
there's
it's
people.
Always Watching the Marble
Yeah,
Hornet story.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, found
That's
footage.
one of
That's
the
a
best
good
ones.
one. With the cam, they have them on camera, and every time they turn the camera off, that's a good film. Like I should do that sometime soon.
That's the
Good film
closest
footage.
to a good.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree with that. Because then they had that other one with the four girlfriends, and the one disappears and stuff, and that movie sucks.
Make,
That movie
make
was
one about
not
the
good.
actual story, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great
Two little girls.
story. It's a great creepypasta. I mean, they can do something great with that.
Hell
They
yeah, they
just
could.
they just haven't yet. Like nobody's made a great film with Slenderman yet.
Like a good crooked man. That motherfucker was nightmare fuel if he did it right too.
Steele says after the third store, I was like, okay, this is enough. But I'm like that with most franchise films. I can see that. I hear that from a lot of people who don't like. A lot of people like the first three Saws, 3 or 4, and then they'll say like, and then I kind of tapered off and stopped watching after that. And it makes sense because
When
if
Amanda
you
died, that's when most people quit.
yeah, that, and I mean they killed off Jigsaw, they killed off her, but
Motherfucker haunted
that
people.
if you don't like Hoffman, then you're probably
Yeah.
you're probably in that group that tunes out after 3 or 4, because from
Hoffman
5 to
was
7, I love Hoffman, like one of my
really?
favorite secondary antagonists. Love him.
Do you like him better than Amanda?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
She didn't really get a chance. You know what I mean?
I
She
mean,
didn't
I
really get a chance.
love Amanda, but I love Hoffman. Like Saw 6 is my favorite one in the series.
She should have had a couple movies worth of her doing the shit. She got killed too quick.
I agree with that too. They should, and they could, because they could have had. That's one thing that I feel like they could have done. They could have had Hoffman and Amanda going cat and mouse for like a full like 2 movies or something like that. Because there are things and stuff that they were going back and forth with the letter and stuff of telling John that she was responsible for the miscarriage. So there were things there, but they definitely could stretch that out, which they can still, because now they left this great idea that they can put a movie and place it in between one of any of the 7 films.
Yeah.
So I mean, if this is a big hit, like, and it's good and it does well at the box office, I can see like us getting many new Saw films like over the next years.
When's it supposed to take place? Because if it's got Amanda in it and it's got Jigsaw in it, it has to go back, right?
It's placed between the first and second one.
Oh, cool! That is fucking awesome. That was a good time frame, man.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I feel if this does good right at the box office, they can start putting sequels between whatever movies they want.
Yeah, 2 is my favorite.
Yeah, 2 used to be my favorite back when they were coming out. Then that wasn't even a Saw film originally. It was a completely different script. Then they had Leave It Out come in and do a whole bunch of rewrites. They could turn this into a Saw movie. That's
if you like Saw, you need to see a Japanese horror film called Evil Dead Trap.
I've seen
Evil Dead Trap?
Yeah.
I really think
that's the crazy movie.
I think that the makers of Saw watched Evil Dead Trap and were like, "Yo, we can take from this."
It is similar. I could definitely see that. That's another movie I haven't seen forever. I gotta fucking start writing shit down.
But Evil Dead Trap is probably my favorite Japanese horror film.
That is a good one.
Japanese version of Cube.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Really?
I didn't care for it, the remake. I love Cube, the originals. I feel like it was
They're getting
already
another
done
remake.
great. Why remake it? You know, like, it was
They're
nothing like
making
real
another one
bad.
here in America. They're making
Oh, are
another
they?
remake in America.
Oh, that interesting.
So it's like, oh my god, first one was fantastic.
Yeah, even Hypercube is for me is enjoyable just for the idea of it. Like, I mean, the acting's terrible. It's like a sci-fi movie almost. But
Yeah,
just
it
the
is.
idea of like the hypercube and stuff, and time and space now also being a thing is interesting. But then Cube
Third one,
Zero, I don't really care for at all. The prequel one.
yeah, that should have been a standalone, man. Huge should have been.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. If it was just Cube by itself, I'd be fine with that.
Because when that was made, there wasn't no movies like that. I remember that bald guy steps up there and thinks that he's just standing there and pieces of him starts falling off. I was like, damn, because there was no movies like that at that time.
Oh yeah, exactly. And
That was brand new. Then.
the Japanese Steel, House is a great fucking movie. That is one I've been wanting to talk about for a bit too. It's from '77, if I recall correctly.
House Soul.
Yeah, Household.
House Soul.
That's a bonkers ass movie. I mean,
That's another one I seen on the big screen.
Oh, have you? That had to have been cool. Seeing that a lot.
First time I ever saw it, there was like a screening for. It was House and. The fuck was the other? I can't really remember off the top of my head, but a friend of mine was like, "Dude, you're gonna want to go to the screening. It's just, they're showing this really crazy Japanese film." He wasn't fucking lying. I know that.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a theater near me that, like, Grande from Grande's Graveyard lives 15 minutes from me on Long Island. Yeah, because when we first met online and shit, and he said I think I said in the video or stream or something that like I live by Avenue, or no, we were talking about a theater that plays old horror movies near me, and he said, "Yo, is it the one over here?" And I said, "Yeah, you from Long Island?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Yo, that's fucking crazy." He lives like 15 minutes from me. But there's a theater here in like Huntington, like 15 minutes from my house, that plays a lot of double features on 35 millimeter. A lot of old horror films. I saw Blood Rage and Black Christmas double there. I saw Texas Chainsaw 2 and 3 back to back there. It's great that they still do that in certain theaters. Like seeing Texas Chainsaw 2 on the big screen was so good. It's my favorite one in the series.
About 4 years ago, in October, I live in a small little town in Indiana. It's Alexandria. And about 4 years ago, they have this local mom and pop owned theater, this older one. And every weekend, that particular October, they played, one weekend they played Nightmare on Elm Street, next weekend they played Halloween, next weekend they played Chainsaw Massacre, and next weekend they played the original Friday. It was fucking awesome.
That's fucking cool.
Most of them I didn't get a chance to see because I was too young. I'd seen Friday the 13th, but I'd never seen Chainsaw or Halloween. So it was
That's awesome. I mean, they had one thing at that theater near me that I wanted to get to. They had like an all night, like back to back, like fucking. I forget how long it was. It was like something like 12 hours long, and it was like Slumber Party Massacre, like a bunch of 80s slashers and stuff, like 6 of them, like in a row, like an all night thing. And I wasn't able to make it, but that would have been cool to get to.
Slumber Party is so underrated. You don't hear everybody talk about that, but that's such a good fucking show. You talk about fun, man.
Oh yeah.
You're also very pretty. I love you.
you know, it's a crazy movie too. It's like Santa Sangre. That's a great one. Santa Sangre is one on its own. Like that's in a category of its own. That movie. Jodorowsky.
Absurd. Grotesque.
Yep. Absurd. It's crazy. Absurd was one of the first films I think that May watched on my channel. Was me making her watch Chunky Manos. Absurd.
At least you didn't see Meet the Baby in the first one. You know?
We can't believe you made her watch Absurd. Jesus Christ.
It was the first of my mystery. discussion live things, and then I just the first episode I picked that movie, and she happened to be in the stream
Such
in
an
the
odd
chat.
movie.
Oh,
Got a
I know.
mental patient running around on Super Bowl Sunday. Like, what the fuck? What's the deal with this?
Hey, at least she didn't see the first one when he ate the fucking baby. You know what I mean?
Anthropophagus. Yeah,
I like that one better,
Yeah,
actually.
that's fucked up, man. I was like, what?
I like Anthropophagus better too.
My favorite part in
It's so
Absurd,
slow,
though,
man.
is when the killer gets in the house and takes the babysitter and shoves her in the oven. And he's like, just like burning the shit out of her face.
I love the fucking the saw kill, and just drills the fucking guy's
Yeah.
head. The gore is great in there, but I mean, it's such a Halloween ripoff. Like, I mean, there's
Yeah.
Halloween all over the place. That movie, the score is very Halloween.
The babysitter in the oven, though, when I first saw that, I was like,
Oh
what
yeah,
the
that's some
fuck
dark
is he
shit.
doing?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm
some
like, what's
dark
he doing? Is he going to stuff her in the oven? I'm like, shit, he's doing it. He's stuffing her in the oven.
He is stuffing her in that oven. Yeah,
This is a Halloween
that
ripoff,
shape's
man.
dark.
It's a straight up Halloween ripoff.
I still haven't seen Offerings.
It is Halloween all over again, man. Except for he doesn't wear a mask. That's the killer. Like, so his face looks like a mask, you know?
Wait, what
He
movie is
just
that?
People just like it. The doctors after him and all that.
Which movie is that?
All for him.
I thought you said Burnt Offerings. I haven't seen Offerings, I don't think.
Yeah, I never seen it, but I'm familiar with that artwork.
You guys see this before?
I've heard of that. I've never
Happy
seen that
Holiday.
either.
I haven't seen it either. Happy Hell Night. You know, it
here's a
came on randomly like a few weeks ago. It was the Prom Night remake. Oh, that's terrible. And I love the whole Sorority Massacre series. The whole Sorority House Massacre trilogy is great. Orville Ketchum in the second and third one. He is such an underrated slasher villain. And Sorority House 2 and 3. Orville Ketchum. What a great villain. I love Tourist Trap. Tourist Trap is Curtains, another amazing one. All of those are just fantastic.
I got him, goddamn.
Tourist Trap, I'm pretty sure it was like rated PG when it was released.
Yeah, I think now it's like unrated.
Yeah, they have because Full Moon, I think, like bought the rights for it or something, or they had the rights originally. They did. Then like they redid something, but on Tubi there's like an uncut version. There's no difference.
It's the producer's cut. Apparently, that's the producer's cut, but
I don't see a difference.
They first released it. They released it on Blu-ray, and I remember I didn't jump on it right away, and the internet went into an uproar about it because they were like, "This isn't the uncut version."
Yeah,
and people were buying it, and they're all pissed off. And I was like, "I'm not gonna buy it then if it's not uncut because I already have the uncut DVD."
Yeah.
Eventually, they released the uncut Blu-ray, and that's when I was like, "Okay, I'm buying it now." I'm glad I held out on that.
So there is actually an uncut version with more gore or shit?
Dude, the cut scenes are unnecessary. There's no gore.
That's what I figured. Yeah, right? Because, the whole movie, there's no gore in it.
Like, I know for a fact, like, this is the uncut version. It's really hard to read that uncut right there.
Yeah. That's the poster art they use on Tubi for it.
But I have the DVD, which is, I can't get to it right now. It's like packed away, but that has the official poster art on it.
So it's just deleted scenes, basically.
Pretty much, dude. There's no extra gore.
Yeah,
I don't even know why it's got an uncut version.
That's why I brought it up. When I saw that on Tubi and shit, I see the original, and then I see I'm browsing more, and then I see uncut version. I'm like,
you got
somebody at whatever studio. Somebody at whatever studio that was probably in charge saw that movie. It was probably like, we need to cut this down.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what they always did. Really fast. I mean, catch up on chat.
You gotta have a director's cut, though. You know what I mean? You're not an important film if you don't have a director's cut.
Oh, yeah. The Driller Killer is awesome. With Driller Killer in Slumber Party Massacre 2 is even better.
Yeah.
Guitar
Most people say that because of the guitar drill,
All right, May's asking, what is she? What did you say? First, oh yeah, the first one you like better? Yeah, I
First
think
one's
I
a
remember
lot
you
better.
saying that. I mean, it's a lot more serious. by a long shot too. Is
Second one
completely out there.
The second one's almost a musical, man.
Oh
Almost.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's got a few good
I
songs in
fucking
there.
hate it,
Actually, I
dude.
love
I
those
fucking
songs.
hate the second one. I can't stand it.
I love it. The third one's ridiculous. Slumber Party Massacre 3. That one's fucking just. That one's pretty violent actually compared to like the other
Second one
first
and the
two.
third one pissed me off. Just seeing them makes me mad.
Yeah, the third one's terrible though. I don't like the third one. That one's not good at all.
Really
May is
makes me want
asking,
to punch them.
what is she watching tonight, kids? So why don't we go around and each give May a recommendation to watch something, and she'll take it upon herself and pick one and watch it.
All right, let me go up here and pick this up. Let me see here.
Slugs. Watch Slugs.
That's not a bad pick.
See, I'm trying to just stay like when I recommend films to her, I try to think of how graphic they are. I try to give her the less graphic ones.
Yeah.
I got one here.
You didn't start off with absurd with her. It's like here you
Cannibal
go.
Holocaust. Yeah, start there.
Yeah, exactly. That's your tame start.
Start there and then go rate the martyrs.
Yeah. Just find the crazy shit and watch that.
Yo, you know what? Actually, I really think Mayanne would really like Cat's Eye.
Oh,
Hell
Stephen
yeah.
King's? Yeah, actually.
Yeah, Stephen King's Cat's Eye. It's like an anthology too. I think she would really like that movie, and you have a very young Drew Barrymore in it.
Mhm.
Here's another Halloween report.
It's very creep show-ish. Also, Cat's Eye, just because of the common link with Stephen King and everything.
This eye's pretty good. That troll story's badass too.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's his recommendation for you, May. Cat's Eye, Stephen King. Keith, what's your recommendation for her? Is that Angel?
The original Angel.
All right. I don't think I've seen that
Kick ass movie.
actually. I gotta add that to the list too. But
This is not a horror movie. This is a thriller that's fucking badass. The original Angel from 1983.
No,
I'll be right back.
And I got a second one too. How about Intruder?
Oh, dude, Intruder is one of my favorite 80s slashers. It's got my favorite slasher kill ever of all time.
Yep. Yeah.
The band saw through the face is my favorite slasher kill ever.
Oh yeah. Man.
Yeah, May watch Intruder.
This is a fun slasher, man. You'll enjoy it, I guarantee it.
Yeah, May or anybody else who watched Intruder from 1989. I know it's on Tubi. It's always on Tubi. It's like basically a reunion of Evil Dead 2.
It's got both Raimis in it. It's got both Raimis in it. It's got Bruce Campbell in it at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, you got Sam Raimi, you got Ted Raimi, you got Scott Spiegel who directed, who co-wrote Evil Dead 2 with Raimi. You got Dan Hicks in there who played what's his name in Evil Dead 2, Bill. Yeah, you have Greg Nicotero,
Bobby Joe.
Yeah, Bobby Joe.
Bobby.
Now he's just Keith just brought up Intruder as a recommendation for me.
No, I knew what he like when I heard the voice or what he was talking about. Even though that's from Evil Dead, but it's still the same guy.
Yeah. So
yeah, Angel and
Intruder is fucking amazing. Intruder is the tits. Yes, it is, Steel. It's 1989, man.
If you get the time, watch Terror Tunes.
Which one was that?
The original Terror Tunes, man.
Rare. Oh, okay, yeah. That's cool artwork.
It's a crazy low ass budget show made by a bunch of porno people, but it's entertaining.
Yeah, you know what's a fun modern one that came on? I think this was on Shudder. Psycho Gorman.
Psycho Gorman's great.
Dude, it's like Power Rangers meets The Gate.
That's a great That's a great description, actually. Yeah. It's an original freaking movie. I'll tell you that. It's
Dude, the
out
first
there.
time I saw it, I was laughing. I love the scene when like they got him in the factory and she's like, "Well, don't you like hunky boys?" And he's like,
Yeah,
"Why would I like
I
hunky
like him.
boys?" And then he looks at the magazine and he goes, "Or do I?"
There's a lot of shit like that in there. Just random, just like stuff and lines that I love it. Psycho Gorman. And
It's fun.
Jay
Dude,
agrees.
the gore is pretty graphic in certain areas
Oh
too. Like when
yeah.
he starts whooping those dudes' asses in the woods,
Oh yeah.
starts crushing dudes'
Gore.
heads and shit.
You would expect with a name like Psycho Gorman, it better be like the gore better be great, and it is. It delivers. Like that's the name
Yeah,
of
it's
the movie.
actually funny to watch them like struggle with trying to figure out his name. They're like, "What should we call him? Like, let's call him PG for what? Psycho Gourmet." Like he's
Yeah.
trying to come up with these stupid ass names for him.
That's a good one. Yeah, May, if you can handle the gore, watch that one too. Psycho Gorman. And Phil brought up a good one with Trilogy of Terror.
Oh yeah.
Trilogy of Terror, great classic account. Karen Black
So you there?
with the Zuni fetish doll. It's the one that's the only one that anyone really remembers of the three segments is that Zuni fetish doll.
That little bastard's crazy, man.
Fast
Oh
as
yeah.
fuck.
Oh yeah. He's fast as fuck. And then I love how they just like have little Zuni can like cam, and like that's how they did it. It's just like point of
Oh, he
view for
blows
him
up shit.
moving, and he
But he
starts
climbs, he gets a knife.
sawing a circle in the briefcase, the suitcase to get out.
He puts a knife in his mouth.
Great
When
stuff.
he's climbing
Yeah.
up shit, he puts a knife in his mouth.
That's great stuff. Like because I could picture one of those things do like coming to life and chasing after you and shit.
Yo, I really hope I hope
DVD.
NECA makes a Zuni fetish doll someday. I would definitely buy a Zuni fetish doll for
Right?
that.
There is one out there that a company makes, man. I do believe Trick or Treat might make it, or Nightmare Studio. There's one out there. There's also a Talkie Tina out there. I plan on getting both of them.
I've seen one on YouTube, but they look super pricey. That's kind of why I would like to see NECA make one to where I could afford
You
it.
gotta catch pre-order. You gotta catch pre-order.
That'd be
It's still
cool to
about
have.
$750.
That'd be cool to have a Zuni fetish doll.
But if NECA ever comes through with a Zuni doll, I'm buying that shit ASAP.
Yeah.
May to watch the '70s one. Phil was saying that there's two trilogy of terrors, one in the '70s, one in the '90s. But yeah,
Yeah,
the
the one from the
70s is the one
70s is from 75.
yeah, that's the classic original one for sure.
The
Watch
second
that
one's
one.
not nearly as good.
Yeah,
That is one creepy ass doll though.
Russell, that's
fucking
funny.
awesome, man.
Every time I see
so
Trude, I get
cool.
split again. That's funny. Yeah, Zodiac Campfire Tales is another great anthology I haven't seen in a while.
You guys remember a horror movie from 1991 with Sean Astin in it called The Willies?
Yes.
The Willies. I remember the name. I don't think I remember seeing it.
It was like super low budget. It was a direct-to-video horror movie, but that's kind of like an anthology in a way, but it's more like campfire stories. It's I guess I don't even know what it's rated, but it is like, you know, like kids could watch that and like not have nightmares.
Kind of like a old version of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah, except for more like creature feature. Like I know there's like there's like a bunch of different creatures. I know at one point there's like a bunch of like big ass flies.
Yeah, I gotta check that out too.
But the Willies is like long out of print. I think it was only ever released on VHS. Like somebody's got to revive that movie.
There's so many movies that are just
same thing with Rumpelstiltskin.
The horror version. I mean,
great, man.
There's so many horror movies that like are finally getting recognition and shit because these companies that are releasing the Blu-rays and 4Ks and stuff that were out of print since like the fucking 80s or 70s in some cases, or even longer in some cases, like for certain movies.
Bug finally got a fucking Blu-ray, Sean, man. Did you see that? I don't remember what company's releasing it, but somebody's releasing Bug on Blu-ray.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yep.
Nice. It's
Finally.
like it's
Like
like
the month after we did.
8, 9, 10 years ago, like Blood Rage, The Mutilator, like those type of 80 slashers, they were relatively unknown. Like people weren't talking about those movies, pieces. Like it's maybe the last 10 years or so. Unless like like us, like big, huge slasher fans and stuff. But then you had like the VHSs, or that you've never returned to Blockbuster or something like that. But now it's so good. The last like 7, 8 years or so with just all the different companies, Arrow, Severin, everyone. But yeah, I love that. Love that cover so much. Blood Rage is a favorite slasher of mine. Yep.
Yeah, it's all Arrows, man.
Yeah, no, yes, Arrows putting a lot of great slashers back out. Because like if you talk to someone 9 years ago and stuff, and like a casual horror fan or a slasher fan, and say Blood Rage, most people never heard of it. It's great that a lot of these old slashers and movies are getting releases and people are getting to experience them. Yeah, it's one of the few we have.
I found the Bug Blu-ray. It's Imprint. Imprint's releasing it.
That's a good company.
William Friedkin's Bug?
Yeah. Hold on, let me show you a picture.
That's a good company, man. They're not bad. So I mean, it's nothing. It's not real extravagant, but for Bug, it is.
But it's coming with a slide box. Like it's going to be a flimsy one. It's not going to be like a hard slide box, or maybe it might be. Who knows?
How much are you charging for it?
I don't even know if the pre-order's up yet. Oh, it does say this. What this? Oh, I'm on VivaVision.com, Australia, but it says the U.S. price is $22.89.
That's not bad.
And the only thing new in the special features is there's a new audio commentary.
But I bet it looks a lot better, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? It's limited. Dude, it's going to be limited. Oh, yeah. There's only 1,500 copies.
Damn. So we better jump on it when it comes out, yeah. Because that motherfucker will sell. I promise.
Oh, here's the release date. The release date is October 25th.
So it's going to go on pre-order probably before the end of this month. By the next couple of weeks, I bet.
Yo, that's going to sell out, and that's going to be worth a pretty penny.
How many copies? 1,500?
Yeah, only 1,500, which is actually a stupid number. They should have did at least 5,000.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, they're definitely going to sell fast.
Because when you do that, and you're the company, you don't get most of the money. You're basically making it so scalpers can make the money.
Yeah.
You're only selling 1,500 of them, so you're not even making it. If you put out 2, 3, 4, 5,000, you're making the money, not the fucking scalper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ginger says Via Vision just announced a few new releases today.
Cool.
Yeah, I gotta stop looking at all this shit, man. I ain't got the money.
Grindhouse, Drag Me to Hell, Grindhouse, and Stephen King collection. Wasn't interesting.
Drag Me to Hell, I fucking adore.
I wonder what's in that Stephen King collection.
Grindhouse was an amazing theater experience when that came. When the full double feature. I saw that back when what was it, 2000 something. It was like during college.
2007.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was in college upstate. Man, the whole theater was packed. Like that was a great theater experience. May says, "Oh, Drag Me to Hell is good. Yes, it is great. It's not just good, May. It's great.
Great ending."
All right, so I think 2 hours is like a good time for this show, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was getting ready to take off.
Yeah, so next week we have Sean hosting on your channel, and you know what movie you want to do and announce for everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lamberto Bava's 1985 film Demons.
Sweet. Nice so anyone who hasn't seen Demons, if
Look
you
it up.
find some time this week, look it up. I know it's on Shudder. I know it's on a few different streaming services. It's not on Tubi, but I know it's on Shudder. It's on Prime, and a few
I
other
think
things.
it's on Look Movie.
It's on Look Movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it's also on Look Movie. So that's the free version there. And watch it sometime this week so you can know and be familiar with it when we discuss it next week. But thanks you guys, brothers, for being here.
Yeah.
Episode 2. And again, sorry about the change of plans and confusion earlier. We'll make sure that don't happen. And
That's all right. We got through it.
Yeah.
Communication from here on out.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to make sure all three of us are talking to each other all the time.
Yeah, that way when like we did before we went live, we'll just that way we know what's going on for the next week and we're good. All right, Meg, it says good night, lovely peeps.
Right.
Peace, Steel, Zodiac, Jay, Phil. I don't want to keep naming because I'll forget everybody. Ginger, all you guys, love you guys. I'm gonna try to have a video out later, like early in the morning on Ringu Spiral because I had to take a break from the fucking Ring movies after the abysmal remakes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I can't watch anything to do with the Ring like anymore. But I know like 2 people have been waiting for like the Ring sequels, so I gotta get to this. I'll try to have that out tomorrow. What?
You were brave doing it.
Yeah.
But tomorrow night, if you guys are if anyone's free, we're gonna be watching Nefarious on my channel at 10 o'clock. We got a watch party for that. So 10 o'clock. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's that? 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a first-time watch for me. And it was also recommended from
I
Juno
haven't
2000.
I haven't seen it either, actually.
Well, if you want to come by at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I will. I'm having Hatch 3 watch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, so mine will be over before you guys.
But Keith, are you just to confirm, are you coming by for that tomorrow night?
Maybe I might be spending time. My son's wanting me to play some games and shit with him, but there's a good chance that I can come back for at least a little bit.
All right. I mean, if you can't make it at all, that's fine. I just wanted to ask you if you are or not, because I got you down on like the flyer that I made. Okay, it's not a big deal, but you know.
Yeah.
I just included you, so
for a little while at least, yeah.
All right, because I know it's definitely going to be me and Juno on the panel.
Yeah, I'll come by. I'll come by after because it works perfect. I'll have like a half hour free from when Hatchet 3 ends till when you start.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably start the movie about 10:30.
Okay. Cool. So look forward to that, guys, tomorrow. And Hatchet 3 Zodiac tomorrow at 7. And this
Keith's
weekend,
got Jaws.
Whatever else. Yes, Jaws.
Sunday at
on
1
Sunday.
Time, on the Sunday afternoon matinee, the original Jaws. It's still summer. I've never done it before. I've never done anything on Jaws. I'm going to be there with fucking bells on, so I expect you guys are going to have a blast.
That's right, guys. Go over and enjoy an absolute shark classic, the shark film. The ever made, the absolute shark film. Check that out. So, everyone, thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out. Silencio, May. Silencio. You reminded me of Mulholland Drive. David Lynch. And, all right, guys. Everyone have a good night or morning, wherever you're from. And we will talk to you guys soon. Take care.